Hello everyone, I am Dr. Sirajul Akfazi. I welcome you in my YouTube channel. Today in this video, I am going to talk about carbohydrate. So I will focus on the introductions of carbohydrates, classification of carbohydrate, properties and biological importance of carbohydrate, isomers, epimers, enantiomers, mutarotations, what is the meaning of this term, an open chain and closed chain structure of glucose. So let us start with carbohydrate. So what is carbohydrate? My friend, carbohydrates are the most abundant biomolecules on earth. Oxidation of carbohydrate is the central energy yielding pathway in most non-photosynthetic cells. So you have to define carbohydrate like that. Carbohydrates are polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones or substances that yield such compounds on hydrolysis. Carbohydrates have the empirical formula carbon 1 hydrogen 2 oxygen 1 का whole n. There are three major classes of carbohydrates. My friends, monosaccharide, oligosacharide and polysaccharide. डिफिनेशंस में आप देखें कि पॉलीहाइड्रोक्सी को हम लोग क्या कहते हैं, ऐसे कंपाउंड जिसमें बहुत सारे हाइड्रोक्सी ग्रुप्स हो और कीटोन ग्रुप हो तो उसको हम लोग कहते हैं कि कार्बोहाइड्रेट, और उसका जनरल फार्मूला CH2O का होने. नाउ हाउ it is classified. So first classification is monosaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. What is meaning of monosaccharides? Monosaccharides or simple sugars consist of a single polyhydroxyaldehyde or ketone unit. The most abundant monosaccharide in nature is 6-carbon sugar, D-glucose, sometimes referred to as dextrose. Now, oligosacharide consists of short chain of monosaccharide. बहुत सारे उसके अंदर monosaccharide होंगे, units or residues joined by characteristic linkage called glycosidic linkage. The most abundant are the disaccharide with 2 monosaccharide unit. Example, sucrose, that is commonly known as cane sugar. So polysaccharide, polysaccharide are sugar polymers containing more than 20 or so monosaccharide unit, and some have hundreds of thousands of units. Example, starch. So polysaccharides are of two types based on their functions and compositions. Based on function, polysaccharides of two types, storage and structural. For storage polysaccharide, that is the starch. For structural polysaccharide, that is the cellulose. तो फ्रेंड, आपको समझ में आया कि मोनोसैकेराइड, ओलिगोसैकेराइड और पॉलीसैकेराइड का मतलब क्या होता है. मोनोसैकेराइड के हाइड्रोलिसिस के बाद कोई प्रोडक्ट नहीं मिलते. ओलिगोसैकेराइड जैसा होगा, डाइसैकेराइड होगा 2 प्रोडक्ट मिलेंगे, ट्राइसैकेराइड होगा 3 प्रोडक्ट मिलेंगे, ओलिगोसैकेराइड होगा तो उस तरह से 5 कार्बन 6 प्रोडक्ट तक मिलेंगे. पॉलीसैकेराइड में you have get the n number of product on the basis of hydrolysis. Now carbohydrate, you can see monosaccharide, glucose, fructose and galactose. Disaccharide example, sucrose, lactose, maltose. And oligosacharide, raffinose and styrose. And polysaccharide, starch, glycogen and cellulose. So general properties of carbohydrate. Carbohydrate act as energy reserve, also stored fuels and metabolic intermediate. Ribose and deoxyribose sugar forms the structural frame of the chain materials RNA and DNA. You know, polysaccharide like cellulose are the structural elements in the cell wall of bacteria and plant. Carbohydrates are linked to proteins and lipids that play important role in cell interaction. Carbohydrates are organic compounds. They are aldehyde or ketones with many hydroxyl groups. These are the properties. Now, physical properties of carbohydrate. First term, stereoisomerism. Compound having same structure formula but they differ in a special configuration. Example, glucose has two isomers with respect to penultimate carbon atom. They are D-glucose and L-glucose. Optical activity means what? It is the rotation of plane polarized light, forming plus and glucose and minus glucose. And distereoisomers, it the configurational change with regard to carbon 2, carbon 3 or carbon 4 in glucose. Example, mannose and galactose. So, enomerism means what? It is a special configuration with respect to the first carbon atom in aldoses and second carbon atom in ketosis. What is the biological importance of carbohydrate? Carbohydrates are chief energy source. In many animals, they are instant source of energy. Glucose is broken down by glycolysis, Krebs cycle to yield ATP. Glucose is the source of storage of energy. It is stored as glycogen in animals and starch in plants. Stored carbohydrates act as energy source instead of protein. Carbohydrates are intermediate in biosynthesis of fats and protein. Carbohydrate aid in regulation of nerve tissue and is energy source for the brain. Carbohydrate gets associated with the lipids and protein to form surface antigens, receptors, molecules, vitamins, and antibiotics. You know, they form structural and protective components like in cell wall of plants and microorganisms. In animals, they are important constituents of connective tissue. They participate in biological transport, cell-cell communication, and activation of growth factors. Carbohydrates that are rich in fiber content help to prevent constipation. Also, they help in the modulation of immune system. My friends, what is the meaning of monosaccharide? The word monosaccharide derived from the Greek word mono means single and saccharide means sugar. Monosaccharide are polyhydroxyaldehyde or ketone which cannot be further hydrolyzed to simple sugar. You know, monosaccharide are simple sugar. They are sweet in taste. They are soluble in water. They are crystalline in nature. They contain 3 to 10 carbon atom, 2 or more hydroxyl groups and 1 aldehyde or 1 ketone groups. This is the about the monosaccharide. You know, monosaccharide as classified in two ways. First of all, based on number of carbon atom present in them, and secondly, based on the presence of carbonyl groups. So, naturally occurring monosaccharide contains 3 to 7 carbon atom per molecule. Monosaccharide or a specific size may be indicated by names composed of a stem denoting the number of carbon atom and suffix OAC. For example, the term triose, tetrose, pentose, and hexose signify monosaccharides with respectively 3, 4, 5, and 6 carbon atom. Monosaccharides are also classified as aldoses or ketoses. Those monosaccharides that contains an aldehyde functional group are called aldoses, and those containing a ketone functional group on the second carbon atom are ketoses. Combining these classification system gives general names that indicate both the type of carbonyl groups and the number of carbon atom in a molecule. Thus, monosaccharides are described as aldotetroses, aldopentoses, aldohexoses, aldoheptoses, and so forth. Glucose and fructose are examples of aldohexoses and ketohexes especially. यहाँ पर आप देखें कि ये 6 कार्बन है, ये एल्डिहाइड है, तो इसलिए इसको ग्लूकोज का हो गया, जिसको एल्डोहेक्सोसिस कहेंगे। और ये यहाँ पर देखिए कि एल्कोहल है और कीटोन फंक्शनल ग्रुप है, ये फ्रक्टोज है, सो कीटोहेक्सोस कहते हैं। सो ट्रायोज मीन्स 3 कार्बन, टेट्रोज मीन्स 4 कार्बन, पेंटोज 5 कार्बन containing hexose and heptose. Glycerose, erythrose, ribose, glucose, and glucoheptose. So trioses are monosaccharide containing 3 carbon atom. The molecular formula of triose is C3H6O3. So characteristic trioses are simple sugar, they are soluble in water, they are sweet in taste. The triose may contain aldehyde groups, aldotriose, or ketone group, ketotriose. For example, glycerose and dihydroxyacetone. Tetroses, same as you can define. Tetrose are simple sugar, tetrose are soluble in water, tetrose are sweet in taste, they are crystalline form, same as erythrose. Same as pentoses. You know, pentoses are simple sugar, pentoses are soluble in water, they are sweet in taste, they are crystalline form. So you can see the pentoses, D-ribose, deoxyribose, and D-ribulose. Hexoses, you know, this is also monosaccharide. Now, structure of monosaccharide. There are two state or open chain structure. You can see this is the structure formula, molecular formula, fitting pair state chain, or this is the Fischer state chain structure. So furanose ring or pyranose ring. Pyranose ring is 6-member ring, or furanose ring is 5-member ring. You can see glucose, methyl alcohol, methyl glucoside, the formation. Reducing agent reduces this formation of osazone by monosaccharide. You see the disaccharide, maltose, malt sugar, isomaltose, cellubiose. This is the attachment. You can see the sucrose is made up of alpha D glucopyranosyl, beta D fructofuranoside. This is the insulin, pectin,